Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Back with another finger. Hey, listen, guys, bring it on in. Hey, we got one filled up. I wanted to drop this yesterday, but like I said, had to be up. Couldn't cram everything in there. Couldn't cram like a ram. But guys, what we're going to discuss in this video, we got our favorite redhead Liz talking with one of these hedge fund managers, basically talking about how NVIDIA is still their top pick. Understand, guys, the time is now to be buying into the greatest generational wealth transfer that is under play. NVIDIA's got a price target of 800. Each time that we're like, oh no, this is too expensive. Like I say, what happens when you end up bumping up $100 more? Understand that the price point even now is a good buy on NVIDIA, in my personal opinion, for long term. And if you're short, if you're shorting, day trading, whatever, obviously this would be a different. You have to analyze differently. But for long term, NVIDIA untouchable, Apple untouchable, Tesla untouchable, XRP untouchable. But put on through, we got some XRP breaking news. Why Tesla is snatching out and running, as everybody sees Tesla is on the move. And again, we'll discuss a little bit with Apple, and then your favorite CEO AA has come and spoken out. There's a new documentary coming out, basically talking about what happened with the GameStop in Wall Street and how retail investors are here and whatever, called Dumb Money. I just found it ironic. It almost feels like a spit in the face, but like I said, we'll cover that as well, guys. But without further ado, let's get down to it. Yeah.
Let's bring in our countdown closer. Joining us to share his AI play, Michael Sansoterra manages more than $2 billion in assets as the chief investment officer at Silvant Capital Management. So it's not C3 AI. What is it? What do you like here in this very hot space?
We still like NVIDIA. We talked about it on your show a couple of times now, and it's, I think, still the best position for the AI boom. These are the primary arms dealers with GPUs growing north of 50% and taking the lion's share.
And guys, that's growth of 50% per year. They are the corner hub of the market of chips and chip production. This is a totally different play. This is what I say, high price and power companies, these big mega caps that are growth, right? Big names, but also are growing and getting bigger. Not necessarily just, oh, I'm going over to Walmart because it's big. Retail is not the play right now. What you want to go through, and the things that always carry people's money through hard times, the turbulence of when it's coming as we finish out this quarter, is going to be these high price and power growth tech companies. AI is a movement. Electric is a movement. This thing is the future. Crypto is a movement. The thing of the future, guys. You're supposed to be planning down now, because understand that startup of next year, you're gonna see a reversal out of nowhere. And you're like, oh, well, I should have. These companies are not fundamentally down. You're just in a down cycle. Do not be caught in the FUD.
Share of the
we review the news, but don't get lost
with
in
real dollars. So it's not a hype story, not a pretend story. They're selling more units to more folks, and we think they're going to lead the AI generation for the next few years.
And yet the price to earnings ratio is 113 right now. Look, I would say, well, what about AMD? But AMD's PE ratio at the moment is
we want to drink from the source. We're not trying to catch what's trickling down the hill, baby. AMD is a processor. They're straight. That's a good investment you want to make. Intel. But if you want the cherry on top, guys, if you want the fizz right up off the tip of the top, NVIDIA. We're coming from the source.
So as you consider looking at other opportunities, you're sticking with this very staid play, even though people might be overpaying for it.
Yeah, we don't think they are. The funny thing about the numbers rising so quickly and NVIDIA's ability to beat expectations in the last couple of quarters and then raise guidance still really tells you that forward expectations are wrong. We don't know exactly where the earnings are. But every time they've opened their mouth for the last 2 or 3 times, we found out that the stock wasn't really that expensive and, in fact, was probably more properly priced. So if you've got a longer-term horizon, we think NVIDIA is still the place to be. AMD doesn't have a product that can really even compete at this point, nor does anybody else. This is a one-horse race, and we want to stay with it for now. Okay,
let's broaden the discussion here. We do have quite a sell-off at the moment in Apple. Apple is very much the reason because it is in the NASDAQ. It's in the S&P. It's in the Dow. It's the Dow loss leader today, and same with the NASDAQ 100. So what do you expect for the technology world at the moment? I mean, this is
and also, guys, when we say the dip, just remember now, Apple is sitting near all-time highs. Apple's at 182 after a sell-off.
A China headline where China's banning some of their government officials, reportedly by the Wall Street Journal says, from bringing iPhones anymore to work and using them for work business. But, is there a broader picture that you see developing for this back half of the year when it comes to the tech play?
There's a little bit of additional risk today. This feels a little bit tit for tat from China. We've been squeezing them on semiconductors. We've been saber rattling with TikTok and what the United States wants to do to curb some of their connections, economic connections with us. So it's no drastic surprise that China's government would come back and have some sort of response. Apple seems like a pretty easy target in this regard. And so there's some sensitivity around Apple today. And I think if you've got more than 50% of your growth, maybe in technology focused on China, you could see a little bit of multiple compression. But often these things are saber rattling, and then you fast forward a month or three and find out that they don't execute quite the same. So we're not really seeing a broad risk to tech at this point for the year end.
Thanks, Mike.
This appears to be
there's the bell. I know you hear it. We got to run. Michael Sansoterra, market cap for AMD.
Yeah, do my man Mike like
that. Is about 39. That's going to do it for us.
It's crazy. But yeah, guys, just the simple fact of it being, do not get lost. Make sure my frame's on there. Do not get lost in the sauce of sitting up and thinking, oh, this news and that news and this news. Guys, that's not, we're talking about 5-year horizon, 10-year horizon. Guys, understand. Apple is going to reveal a banking play on y'all. They already got the hub for phones that everybody's going to keep buying. It don't matter if China stops. There'll be more people that are buying elsewhere. And again, it's not that China's stopping. China has stopped their workers from bringing their iPhones inside of the workplaces. Obviously, like she said, it was a tit for tat. We're shutting down the TikTok thing and like that. So you can understand this is not a fundamental thing as much as it is a political move. And that's where you're getting that movement difference in Apple. But understand still, just like we say, still, where are we at here? All-time high recently was 198. We're sitting at 176. So what, probably sent you about 15% move from all-time highs? And just as everybody saw with Tesla today, these mega caps, that's like a day's movement. That's like a day's movement. Let me pull this back out here. Go on this 10-minute. That's a day's movement. Where was Tesla at? Tesla was at 247 on the 8th. Pre-market of the 8th, it had a move to 263. That day, during trading hours, or during daytime hours, it hit 274. So that movement basically in a day's time was from 246 to 274. Now, mind you, Tesla's all-time high is around 300. So y'all, well, actually, let me see here. What was all-time high? Yeah, 299. When I tell y'all that these are accumulation zones, that Tesla 250, 230, NVIDIA 450, 440, 430, those are zones where you need to be loading in. And realistically, those zones are moving up. Those levels are moving up. Do not be left out in this generational wealth transfer. The thing is to think long-term. You're building a banger portfolio with rock star companies that are going to be producing and getting larger and growing 50, 30, 20% each year on the with the company and concern itself. Not just like, oh, the stock's going to be up. No, these companies are saying that they're going to produce their wealth growth by 50% each year. You better tag in and tap down and get on some of this money, guys. But now let's pull on down our AMC. Looking at sweet Amy, we're sitting at 757 on the close, and after hours we hitting 764. A move up around about what, 405 basis points, or 10% on the day, which brought us up to 764. Like I said, we saw lows. I think our lowest that we saw was around 705. Almost broke that level. That was a little scary one yesterday, but still teetering in, guys. I'm still seeing downside. I know that we have that little pop, but from the way it's looking, again, as we know, charts on everything, but you can still see kind of the trends, things that are kind of moving along with AMC. There is some downside to come as this 14 is looking like it's about to spike back down at 48. When we go out on deeper time frames, we have the 14 above, but it's curving back down. It's at 48's rising. And guys, that's just an indicator that there's going to be sell-off coming. So for instance, if we come back here, right where this 48 crossed to this 14, you'll see this sell-off. And it's been underneath that this whole time. Sell-off, sell-off, sell-off. And again, this is on a 30-minute time frame, so now you're starting to get to understanding that this is a little bit further out to show you what's kind of coming. We had that break up above where we saw that spike today, but it's not shooting off and looking like it's going up to the north. It's curling back down. And as I keep going further out, you'll see on the 1 hour, 1 hour is actually looking like it's starting to kind of pull apart. Still not a comfortable zone. Obviously, like I said, we've got to see how this plays out further. But can you see how on this 1 hour, it's kind of, the 48 is kind of looking like it's veering and going the opposite direction from the 48? That is an indicator that there is going to be bullish movement, but that's on the 1 hour. So you're talking about a couple of days out from that, from what we're talking about now. And again, that can still develop out. You could have 2 days pass and you're kind of seeing that thing curl back out. But on that 1 hour chart, you're seeing some kind of bullish movement. But like I said, in the near term, expect some more downside. And like I told you how I was playing this, guys, pulling out $1,000, have $1,000 sitting on the sideline. This thing comes down and taps down near $2 or $1. That is how I'm making this maneuver. As I mentioned to everybody, I made my sale after, was that after the conversion? It was either right after or right before the conversion. But that was an aspect of when I knew that this downside was going to come. But there's going to be a movement up. They're going to have these a price inflection to the upside now that is going to be met by AA dumping your shares. But I'm playing this game strategically in the fact that I'm saying this is just how I'm doing it. If I can go in and drop $1,000 somewhere near $1.50, pick me up 1,000 shares and ride that 1,000, let's say a movement back up to 30, 40, 50, right? Which again, 30, 40, 50 would be like the equivalent of $15 pre-reverse split. So this is something that could actually be happening, right? But if you're saying you had $1,000 for every dollar, for every dollar that moves, you make 1,000. If you got 50 that's going up, that's 50,000. Hey, listen, that's the strategy that I'm employing, because like I say, there's money still to be made. But the buy and hold thing, the diamond hand thing with this stock, that's what got us screwed and what got us scarred. They knew our next move every single time. Swing trading and day trading, which what I've been doing a lot more active the last 6 months, with retail, with apes on these plays. Like for instance, what's one that Axla. Up 59%. Guys, this stock was at 11 cents going into the beginning of the month. This is retail. If y'all download the Weeple, go click your feeds. And guys, like I said, we got a link in the description. Click that. Use the promo code. I think it's SOMAMON or something like that. It's down in the description. Get us some free shares. But Weeble is great because you can literally, we're chatting all day back and forth with the community of retail. Those that are evolving, they're kind of like, hey, we're hitting them, boom, pushing up, running the stocks up 300% and getting out. That's what we're doing. Cannabis stocks, everybody's running. This is one of the places I'm in right now. I jumped in around about 50 cents. And Sundial, though, everybody remember those plays that were kind of meme stock plays? Retail is in those early in the morning, smashing these prices up, making our gains, running for multiple days and getting out. They cannot catch us, but this is a strategy that's working way better than the buy and hold thing. Just off the simple fact, if you say, oh yeah, we're going to buy and hold and never sell, well, they're never going to cover it. They're never going to go locate those shares, and that's what's got us in that situation with AMC. But now again, I'm going to play a strategy because, like I said, I still got to get some money out of this AMC thing. I'm just out of, I don't like the taste that left in my mouth, and I'm pretty sure nobody else did, but that's just my strategy with it. Putting on through, stock tracker showing 500,000 shares available. They're borrowing at a measly 4.3% short interest, cost to borrow. Short interest sitting at 11.52. Free float on loans 16.8, which is 26.5 million shares, down from the staggering 200 million that was prior to the reverse split. Days to cover sitting at 2.58, which is the amount of days it would take for them to cover their supposed outstanding positions, and cost to borrow sitting at a 7.8%, utilization at 74%. Guys, this is what I was talking about with your CEO, AA. This is it's called Dumb Money, based on the insane true story from the acclaimed director Craig Gillespie. If I'm not mistaken, this is supposed to be the thing that talked about how retail came into the markets and kind of fought against the bigger guy with GameStop, which you can obviously see with the white and the red colors down there, but kind of like the meme stock movement. But it's ironic. I already know this ain't gonna talk about any of the nitty gritty, because I know for sure if this was something that was talking about nitty gritty, AA would not be the one posting this, because he would be the main character of this story. But like I said, guys, it's ironic they posted this out in it's Dear Wall Street, Dumb Money, right? He's talking about some AMC's millions of shareholders are going to find the new movie Dumb Money opening September 15th utterly fascinating. Sony and Columbia Pictures have set out to showcase the increasing stature and power of retail investor through the lens of the extraordinary trading of the GameStop stock back in 2021. They're not going to highlight what occurred with AMC and AA, I guarantee. But I said I found it interesting that this is what he comes out and drops with all the stuff that's happening. Stock down 90-something%. Haven't heard a word about what happened with the reverse split and all that, right? But this is what he's coming out with, a Dumb Money video, right? A Dumb Money movie. Put it on through, guys. What the Bloomdunya? All right. Tesla surges 10% on reports its supercomputer could add $500 billion to market cap. Pay me money and pay me thoughts. Don't forget to pay me with my yacht. All right, guys, listen. Hey, I'm about to be thoughted down. I'm going to be thoughted down, but let's tap in. Tesla rallied more than 10% on Monday after Morgan Stanley's prediction that the electric maker Dojo supercomputer would add up to $500 billion company's market cap. Now, this is Morgan Stanley. This is their new price projection. Tesla closed at $273, a figure that has already more than doubled so far this year. After a group of Morgan Stanley analysts led Adam Jonas upgraded the stock to overweight from equal weight. Overweight rating means that Morgan Stanley bankers believe Tesla price is about to outperform its industry, and usually indicates investors should buy up more shares. Guys, key in back in. I've been screaming it this whole time so y'all can understand. The figure is up more than double. You could have been in Tesla in January and been up more than 2x. Tesla was around $100, $120. Hey, I swear I gobble up 120, 150, I was screaming, 170, 200, I was screaming. Guys, these companies are the companies of the future. These are mega plays, and what I'm sitting up here motioning this for is stacking up as many as Tesla, NVIDIA, Apple as I can, Microsoft as I can, and ride these bad boys to a stock split. So if they do another 4-for-1 and you had 20 shares of Tesla, hey, you see how we're building our generational wealth, right? This is what the cue of this game is. And understand that when it runs up to 1,000 again, they're going to bring it back down for more consumers to buy into. You want to be locked in on these reverse splits to where each time your money's just growing and growing and growing and growing and growing, where you don't have to worry about it. Now, of course, it's all right to swing trade and day trade, but obviously you want to have those separate from your long-term portfolio. There's a long-term portfolio where you don't break and sell, and you have your short-term, where you have your Tesla where you're doing your call options, buying and selling, things like that. But this is how generational money is produced. Apple pays a dividend. My shares are growing each month because they trickle you off a dividend, which I have automatically reinvested. This is the growth of money. You do not want to miss that. The investment bank also raised Tesla's 12-month price target from $250 per share to $400 per share as a Wall Street high. Guys, that means that there is another 100% move set up for Tesla. So you're going to be up 3x, right? Which would actually be 4x from where it would be, or about 4x from where it'd be for the beginning of the year. If we're talking about a $400 price target. Guys, if you ain't hearing me, you just won't get it. A big move today from Tesla following upgraded news from the Morgan Stanley that sees the stock at $400 due to AI capabilities. And of course, like I said, this is just a good picture. is for some reason I just love seeing that big head Elon Musk, because I know he's taking my money to the promised land. You cannot have a head that large and not be going up. I'm just trying to tell you. Putting on through banger news with XRP. Breaking news, XRP to be back in gold in Singapore. This comes as Ripple Labs in Singapore proceed with integrating XRP with Singapore CBDC, following the XRP crypto news, guys. So Singapore is about to back XRP coins with gold and silver. Guys, it's about to get real. The implementation aspect is occurring right now. Do not get wavered in this point where you're seeing this price down. The price down has to do with the FTX movements, right? With them unreeling all the coins. That's why you're seeing Bitcoin down, Ethereum, everything down, because they're loading those. They're having to sell those off to, I guess, reimburse those that were, scammed in FTX. That's the current little dip in crypto. But understand, that has nothing to do with nothing. If you're not getting it now and you haven't thrown a couple $100, not financial advice, but $100, $200, $300, $400, $500 to XRP, that's going to be one of your saddest mistakes ever. Like I said, if you do buy it, get it off the exchange, go use that Ballot wallet, link in the description. That is my favorite wallet. Second favorite would be Ledger Nano. I love the Ballot wallet because it's a true cold store wallet. You got to worry about somebody walking through and being able to scan it and catch it in Faraday bags, things like that, which is still always good to get a Faraday bag. But this is bulletproof. And of course, like I said, I use them on a one-time use. They're not online until you put the passphrase and the passcode, which is located on the card, on the ballot, and that brings it online for you to be able to send off. You can still send on to it with it being in an offline state from your phone, right? So you still don't have to bring it online to send your cryptos in, but it has to be brought online to send them out. Once you bring it online, then of course I will go and open up a new one and send my existing whatever I didn't sell to that one to re-secure the fact that, hey, this is not out. There's nobody, this isn't an open cold store. It's completely locked and closed. Nobody has access to it. Pull it on through, and that's just how I play it. Last little portion here, XRP. Now, all these bullish news the past couple months that wrecked many are out of the way. Let's focus on what really matters. Keep it simple. XRP, 6-year symmetric triangle, bullish continuation pattern. If this breaks out, then we moon. But like I said, this all is lined up. Like I said, guys, charting is a part of it. The news, what's going on, you bring it all together to kind of understand. We are making this bullish pattern, which touches, I think, 4 times. 1 here, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, which is basically going here, retest, down, back up, and it's down. And they're supposed to say the next bounce up is supposed to break out of this triangle. That would add up. Simple fact, remember now at the end of this month on the 29th, we have the party that's being thrown by the CEO, I guess a party event, celebration, he called it, on the 29th by the CEO, which lets me know there's going to be some type of news breaking or something that is going to be alluding that we're celebrating. And they said that they're announcing big news at the event. So understand that would align up also with how that chart is playing out. So you got your movements of the chart, you got the sentiment. Obviously, we know that there might be algos. We don't know how that occurs, but I know that moving with a chart and then also moving with the news that's going on usually puts me on a pinpoint spot. So like I said, guys, we have some expectations. I expect to see some big things shaking off here at the end of this year with XRP. So like I said, guys, the time is now to be loading that wagon. Don't miss this boat, boys. But look, like I said, hey, listen, much love to y'all. I appreciate y'all, boys. Appreciate all the support, guys. We're going to keep the channel going, keep things coming. Hey, we're smoothing things down. We got more technology coming in, more equipment, better staging, better lighting, better ideas, guys. Much love for y'all, boys. I appreciate y'all, and y'all already know what's next, don't you? Guys, we're getting rich. We're getting rich together. Hey, DJ B Money, drop that track. Yes, sir.